You don't need to get revenge. Life will do it for you, with precision and without mercy. Remember this: those who hurt you never really get away with lying, manipulating, betraying, and laughing at your pain. They think they've won, but they don't know that karma is patient, and it always arrives on time. It's not early, it's not late, it doesn't forget, it doesn't miss. It takes every wound, every lie, every long night you silently endure, and turns it into a lesson delivered coldly at the perfect time. In this article, we're not just talking about revenge. We're talking about emotional intelligence, about mental discipline, about mastering your self-worth in a world where everyone is chasing power, status, and recognition. It's not about stooping to their level. It is about rising above it all with clarity, peace, and a mindset that does not react impulsively, but responds with integrity. So read to the end, because when you understand the profound truths of karma and character, you will no longer need compensation from others. You will begin to build strength. You will not look back, but walk with purpose. Let them think they are gone. Let karma process what they have sown. You have a lifetime to rise. 1. You have done your best. You have given your all. You show up with sincerity, honesty, and love. You do not need the spotlight to shine. While they play tricks, you are steadfast. While they calculate, you care. You are imperfect, but you are genuine, and that is what they cannot stand. We live in a world that often mistakes purity for weakness, consistency for naivete. But the truth is, loving without manipulation requires strength of mind. Maintaining kindness in a world that celebrates coldness requires soul discipline. You planted the seeds of deep love, a love that is genuine and vulnerable. But in return, they gave you betrayal. They weaponized your openness. They used your loyalty to take advantage of you. Then, when they broke it, they walked away as if nothing had happened. But this is what many people don't understand. Just because someone broke you doesn't mean you were inherently weak. It just means you were more valuable than they could handle. They didn't leave because you weren't good enough. They left because your emotional depth exposed their emptiness. You didn't scare them, your honesty did. Let that sink in. Why did they do that? You've probably asked yourself why they did that. How could they lie and still smile? Why do they seem to be doing well while you are stuck in misery? This is where emotional intelligence comes in. They are not doing well, they are just pretending to be wise. They are not at peace, they are hiding. They are not quiet, they are hiding. There are people who do not feel remorse until everything is quiet, when the applause stops, when the crowd leaves, when the dopamine from the fake validation is no longer enough to drown out the noise in their soul. That is where karma comes in. Karma is not a mystical punishment system. It is a law of balance, the universe's way of rearranging the spiritual order. What you sow, you shall reap. If you sow betrayal, disloyalty, manipulation, don't expect to reap peace. They have sown betrayal in the soil that should have been fertile ground for love. They think they are smart, but they are short-sighted. They play small games in a life that operates on long-term rules. And the universe plays long. It collects evidence and delivers results. You don't need to intervene. You don't need to wish ill. You don't need to seek revenge. Why? Because when you live by your values, when you lead with an executive mindset, you will realize something powerful. Your healing is their consequence. Your peace is their karma. Your silence is louder than any retaliation you can shout. They may never admit what they did. They may rewrite the story, twist the truth, and act out to the world as if nothing happened. Let them, because karma doesn't need a confession. It works in silence. It waits until the mask is broken, until their true face is revealed. And when that moment comes, it hits harder than any plan you could come up with. Bea. So what do you do now? You rise. Not for them, not to prove anything, not to win, but because staying stuck in what they did is a form of slow self-destruction. You choose to heal. You let their betrayal become your boundary. You stop feeling sorry for those who can't handle your depth. And most importantly, you forgive. Not because they deserve it, but because you do. Forgiveness doesn't erase the betrayal, It doesn't open the door to they come back. It simply means you stop carrying their burden. You choose to live in the present instead of bleeding over the past. Let this be your moment of transformation. Let their departure be a rich path to a life of higher standards, deeper peace, and clarity of mind. Because the truth is that when they walked away, they didn't destroy you. They freed you. They removed themselves from a table they never knew how to sit at. And now you have the opportunity to rebuild, to grow, to surround yourself with people who not only accept your love, but also appreciate it. As for them, let life take care of itself, because karma never misses. And one day, they will feel the weight of what they have lost. Not because you told them to, but because silence always brings the harshest truth. 4. They don't really win. They look like they are winning. They smile on social media, post flashy moments, surrounded by friends, lights, noise, as if nothing happened. Wonder how they hurt others and still seem blessed? But remember, not all that glitters is gold. Not all smiles are peace. We live in an age that glorifies show over character, where people chase popularity rather than truth. But just because someone looks like they are moving up doesn't mean they are. They may look like they are flying high, but inside they are crumbling. And karma doesn't come immediately. It's exactly when someone plants seeds of toxicity, lies, betrayal, manipulation, cruelty. The consequences may not appear immediately, but that doesn't mean the seeds aren't growing. They are taking root. You can't throw away sadness and expect to be clean. You can't lie and expect the truth to protect you. You can't betray those who love you and think you'll emerge unscathed. Some people think they can outsmart life. They think they can skip steps that hurt others, burn bridges, and still reach the top. But life doesn't work that way. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "It is impossible to live well without wisdom, courage, and justice." The universe is not stupid. It is patient. It has a strategy. It is built on the laws of balance, energy, and truth. So when someone sows destruction behind their back and boasts success in front of them, don't be fooled. You're only seeing the advertisement, not the whole story. People who hurt others and walk away with a smile, they are not at peace. They are running, not forward, but running around, looking for new people to impress, new heights to escape old guilt. And the more they run, the heavier their burden becomes, because guilt has a way of catching up to them in the silence. Not in the day when the world is noisy, but at night when it is just them in their choices. A voice that cannot be silenced. You have lost a real person. You have betrayed the pure. You have burned something sacred in exchange for temporary recognition. It's not your revenge, it's their lesson, and it speaks louder than any words you could say. 5. So what do you do while they're acting? Stay focused. Don't measure your healing by their time. Don't trade your peace for fanfare. Build slowly and quietly with self-awareness and mental strength. Because here's the truth that many people miss. Real success is quiet, fake success is loud. The more they try to prove they're okay, the less they're okay. The more real you're healing, the less you need to brag. You don't need fanfare when you're clear. You don't need applause when you're living with purpose. You don't need revenge when you're pursuing long-term success based on wisdom, emotion, and self-discipline. While they're posting, you practice. While they're acting, you prepare. While they're chasing noise, you cultivate peace. And one day, when life lives the truth, because it always does, they will remember you. Not the version they lied about, but the one who stood when they fell. The one who didn't fight back, but moved on. By then, it will be too late. Not because you are bitter, but because you have moved on where they left you. Let them shine now. Let them have their moment. But remember, true light never fades. It shines brighter in the dark. And when karma returns, it will come without warning. It will come in, rearrange the whole room, and whisper, "Remember what you sowed." That is when they will realize you didn't lose anything. They were the ones who lost. 6. Karma is not your personal assassin. Understand this.
Karma is not a hired assassin to serve your anger, pride, or pain. It is not for you to watch others fall. And feel good, that is good karma. It is revenge. And revenge belongs to those who react emotionally, touch, not those who believe the noble God. Karma is a law as natural as gravity, as time. It doesn't care about your feelings, your thoughts, or your illusions. It just executes.
It brings balance to imbalance, truth to deception, calm to chaos. And when it moves, it does so not from spite, but from calm. Most people confuse justice with revenge. They want others to hurt the way they have been hurt because that seems fair. But the Stoics knew better. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be your enemy." Why? Because when you take the path of revenge, you leave your power. You start living on their terms. You let their actions shape your future. You tie your peace to their pain, and that is not peace. True emotional intelligence is knowing that not every wound is worth your attention. Not every betrayal requires a response. It is the strength to rise when everything in you wants to strike back. It is the wisdom to wait, not for karma to punish you, but for you to grow. Let's be clear, you do not need to be a tool of karma. Life does not need you to help balance the scales. It does not need screenshots, sharp retorts, or carefully prepared arguments. Why? Because life keeps the books. The universe does not forget, and spiritual laws are more precise than any human plan. The person who betrayed you, they cannot escape. They are on a journey that will reveal their truth in time. Maybe not on your schedule, but it will happen in time. When they think they have won, karma will come to a mirror, and in that mirror, they will see not a mask, but their naked choices. And while they expose themselves in silence, you are rising with clarity, dignity, and truth. That is why karma is so powerful. It makes no noise. It doesn't announce its arrival. It just rearranges things. False confidence falls, distractions become empty, the crowd quiets, false peace crumbles, and when they realize they are surrounded by illusions, that is when the real lesson begins. Not from you, but from life. 7. So what do? Don't chase apologies, explanations, or even justice. Because what you are really looking for is not punishment, it is closure. And closure doesn't come from others, it comes from you. The moment you choose to move on without being proven right. That is spiritual freedom. That is spiritual maturity. That is inner strength. Imagine how much energy you will have when you stop having these false conversations in your head. When you stop checking people who are no longer worthy of your life. When you stop measuring your worth by whether someone regrets losing you. You were not born to hold grudges. You were born to grow. Not designed for drama, but for legacy. And legacy is not built on petty revenge. It is built on discipline, vision, and the courage to choose the noble path, even if it is lonely at times. So what should you do? Keep your energy clean. Keep your hands off the wheel of karma. Keep your eyes forward. The more you live true to your values, the more karma will work without you having to interfere. Because those who betray others carry the weight of lies that only get heavier with time. But those who live in truth carry a lightness that no lie can touch. Let them fall without your help. Let them regret without your permission. Let them destroy themselves without you controlling them. Because you have better things to do than wait for them to feel what they made you feel. You have peace to protect, a high-performance mindset to master, and long-term growth to pursue. You don't need karma to catch them. Karma is never about them, it's always about bringing balance to you. When injustice is loud and karma is quiet. Honestly, there are times when injustice seems too loud and karma is quiet. You look around and see them doing well, posting, laughing, celebrating as if nothing happened, while you heal in silence, rebuilding your confidence, trying to understand how someone could cause pain and still walk away. But this is the hard truth that many people forget. Just because you don't see the storm doesn't mean the sky isn't about to fall apart. Just because someone hasn't crashed doesn't mean they haven't run straight into a wall. Karma doesn't always come immediately. In fact, it rarely does. Why? Because immediate consequences only teach a shallow lesson, but delayed consequences teach in a way that no punishment can. Karma doesn't work in a quick way, it works with deep healing, spiritual adjustment, life rebalancing. That's why it takes time. It waits. It waits, it observes, it studies the soul, and when it moves, it is precise. Not to destroy, but to awaken. Think about this. Those who betray you, lie to you, leave you,
They may look like they are winning, but they are not moving forward. They are running in circles, stuck in a loop they do not recognize, haunted by decisions they do not acknowledge. And that is the scariest part, because the real storm of karma is internal. Not a car crash, not public humiliation, but waking up next to success and still feeling empty. It is having thousands of followers, but no real friends. It is sleeping next to someone new and still dreaming of what was lost. We live in a world obsessed with speed. Everyone wants instant results, instant revenge, instant justice. But karma does not run on your clock. It operates on divine timing. And just because you haven't seen the impact doesn't mean it isn't building. Some people are walking in the sunshine, but behind them a storm is brewing, and when it comes clearly. No drama, no explosions, just undeniable truth. The kind of truth that changes the way they see themselves forever. Patience is a powerful move. When you let go of the need to witness their demise, you level up. You move from emotional reaction to mental discipline, from obsession to clarity, from pain to purpose. You stop needing to see it happen because you know it will. You stop scrolling through their social media wondering if they are suffering because you realize their life is no longer your business. That's when karma really starts to work, when you no longer cling to its timing. A person who follows the Stoic philosophy doesn't just believe in logic, they believe in cause and effect. They understand that reality has structure, and no one escapes the consequences of what they sow. The philosopher Seneca once said that time heals what reason cannot. And I would add that time also exposes the pride that tries to hide. No mask lasts forever, no lie can outwit the truth, and no betrayal remains hidden when the last mirror appears. So the next time you wonder if karma still works, remember the universe never misses. It is precise. It is wise. It is in no hurry. Because when the truth is late, it hits harder, and it always comes when they least expect it. Not to punish, but to reflect. Not to hurt, but to repair. Not to entertain you, but to awaken them. Your role in this process is to remain calm, to remain pure, to remain balanced. Because when you focus on your peace, you no longer need their pain. You have passed the chapter where their karma was your concern. Now you enter executive clarity, where your energy is for purpose, growth, and real connection. 10. They lose more than you think. Let's be honest. They walk away, but not clean. They lie, they betray, they choose ego over honesty, serenity over truth, power over love. But from the outside, they look fine. But here's what no one tells you. They don't just lose you, they lose something much more precious. And most of them won't realize it until it's too late. When someone leaves an authentic person, they think they gain freedom, but they actually lose their emotional security. You are the mirror of their best self. You are the one who appears to be loving, loyal, and emotionally stable. But they mistake that energy for weakness. They think they can trade it for something flashier, more exciting. And they're wrong, because what they're giving up is more than just a person. They're giving up a foundation. They're giving up a rare presence, one that can only be built through emotional intelligence and deep spiritual practice. Don't get me wrong, they may look like they've moved on. They may smile in photos, post as if they're doing well, but inside they feel the loss not all at once, but in waves. It hits them in the quiet moments, after the party, after the post, after the applause. When they're lying in bed at night and the room is silent, your absence resonates most strongly, because you are more than just love. You are clarity, consistency, authenticity. You are the one who stands firm in a world of shifting masks. They will feel it when they try to connect with someone new, but the relationship is superficial, transactional, empty. They will remember how you read between the lines, sense the shift in their energy before they even open their mouth. The way you love without calculation, that is not normal. That is loyalty at the soul level, that is rare. And the magic is they won't say it. They won't post about it. They might even convince themselves it's not that deep. But regret has a strange way of working. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It creeps into the cracks in their confidence. It erodes their executive thinking from within. They begin to doubt their choices, not in public, but in front of the mirror. And that mirror never lies. They don't upgrade, they downgrade, from a spiritual connection to an emotional distraction. And this is the hardest part. They may never apologize. Their ego won't let them. They'll rewrite the story so they can sleep soundly, but their subconscious doesn't lie. It remembers everything. And when life humbles them, when their game doesn't work, when manipulation fails, when their new circle doesn't feel like family, they will remember you not for how much you loved them, but for how deeply they betrayed them. Let this sink in. They've lost more than just your presence. They've lost access to authenticity in a world full of fakes. They lost someone who would stand by them even in the storm. And what you need to understand is that their loss was their choice. Your healing is your choice. You don't need to chase closure. You don't need to wait for an apology. You don't even need them to know what they lost. Because you know what you gave. You gave truth, you gave light, you gave presence. So let them act, let them pretend, let them laugh through the emptiness. It's not your job anymore. 11. Focus on the future. You focus on moving forward now. You are not bitter, you are better. You are not broken, you are growing. You are not waiting, you are rising. Because the strongest comeback is not revenge, it is peace. And that is something they cannot fake, they cannot buy, they cannot take from you. You did not lose, they did. And they will realize that when karma taps their shoulder and whispers, "You have lost the rarest soul you have ever touched, and you will never touch it again."